Over the years, I have received tons of comments from my viewers telling me that Pimsleur is great. And also there seems to be tons of people online who have gotten great results by doing Pimsleur. So I decided to put Pimsleur to the test for 7 days, and here's the challenge. I'm going to use Pimsleur for 7 days to learn Arabic, which is a language I have absolutely no knowledge in. And I chose Arabic because it's one of the hardest languages to learn. And at the end of the 7 days, I'll show you my progress. And so in this video, I'm going to answer multiple questions about Pimsleur. So first of all, is Pimsleur worth it? We're going to see that through the experiment. Number 2, what level can you expect to reach with Pimsleur at the end of the program? And number 3, is there a way to get a better price for Pimsleur? Because frankly, the normal price is pretty prohibitive. So I want to talk about that first, actually, the price. In terms of pricing, Pimsleur can be very expensive. Typically, one program for one language can cost hundreds of dollars. Most people are actually unaware of the fact that Pimsleur offers a subscription pricing, which is around $20 a month, which is much more affordable. I'll put the link for the subscription pricing down in the description of this video, and this link will also provide you with a free trial of Pimsleur if you want to do the experiment with me. I'm going to do my best to update the link in the description so you can get the biggest discount currently available applied with the link. So I'm only going to be using Pimsleur for 7 days, but most major Pimsleur programs like French, German, and so on, they have 5 levels with 30 lessons each, and each lesson lasts about 30 minutes more or less. So in total, you can expect the entire program to take 5 months with the recommended pace of 1 lesson a day. All right, guys, day 1 of Pimsleur. I'm doing it in my car with my headset here, doing the first lesson. So the way that it works essentially is that Pimsleur is based around a conversation. You have, 1 lesson a day. It's going to last 30 minutes. The entire lesson is based around a real conversation. And so you're just listening to the conversation, and then you learn progressively during the 30-minute lesson to partake in the conversation and say all of the words and all of the phrases in the conversation. So there's not much grammar for now. I don't think there's going to be any at all, but I can already see that it's very interactive and it's all audio based, which is great because, I do it while I'm driving. Obviously, I parked my car so not to have an accident while, filming this video. So the cornerstone of the Pimsleur method is a carefully designed spaced repetition system. So new vocabulary, new constructs are introduced and then they're spaced at a gradually increasing interval. So it's first, it appears first, and then 5 seconds later, 25 seconds later, 2 minutes later, 10 minutes later, etc. And so this timing is calibrated to match how your memory naturally works, which helps more information move from short-term memory to long-term memory, and so you're remembering much more and forgetting much less. And spaced repetition is no gimmick. I talked about spaced repetition in detail in my free webinar, which is a summary of the 7 most important principles I got from talking with professors and researchers. I'll put a link to this free webinar in the description if you're interested. Unlike passive learning approaches, Pimsleur actually requires you to actively recall and produce the language. So the method actually prompts you to think of the answer before you hear it, and it creates a better, what is called quality of attention. So quality of attention is a crucial factor when it comes to learning languages, and I talked about this with Professor Paul Nation, who is one of the most cited people in this language learning research.
And then the third thing that matters is quality of attention. We have to focus on something, we have to spend some time on it, but if the way that we spend time on it encourages us to be deep and thoughtful with our processing of it, then that will greatly help learning as well.
So one of the great things about Pimsleur is that it focuses on high-frequency vocabulary. So each level is going to teach you 300 to 500 new words, according to Pimsleur. If you enroll in a Pimsleur program that has 5 levels, which is, the case for most major languages, Spanish, French, Japanese, Korean, and so on, you can expect to have learned about 1,500 to 2,500 words approximately. All right, guys, so this is day 4. Just finished the 4th lesson, with my headset in my car. My impressions up until now is that I'm actually very satisfied. I'm very surprised by the results specifically. You know, the most surprising thing is that the things that I learned on day one during the first lesson, all the words, all the sentences, the expressions, all the pronunciation information, I can remember it vividly. I can say everything. That's very different from, you know, just normal classes, normal courses where you learn things and then you forget them progressively. Here with Pimsleur, you really don't forget anything. And I suppose this is due to the, you know, the scheduling system that they have going on. So very, very satisfied. I can totally see how, you know, if I were to do the 5 levels, about 5 months, then I would be able to, you know, partake in intermediate conversations in the language. So very satisfied. So at the end of the day, you're not going to be writing academic essays using this number of words, but in my experience, this number of words is enough to cover about 80% of all the vocabulary that you need in, you know, everyday conversations, which is a pretty high percentage. So the strange thing about Pimsleur, it's kind of unusual, is that you don't have any grammar. Like in the audio lessons, they're going to explain a little bit, but it's very, very light. Now, I don't think this is a problem. Up until now, I've been able to learn really, really well. But I would definitely complement the Pimsleur program with some sort of textbook, or probably, you know, I would recommend taking a look at Rocket Languages. I'll put the link in the description, or, you know, whatever grammar resource that you can find to sort of complement the Pimsleur program. I would say that the best thing about Pimsleur is that I can do lessons while doing something else. So you never have to sit down and study. But the thing is, I would say, you know, Pimsleur is going to be mostly focused on speaking and listening, and the app does contain exercises that you can do, you know, written and, you know, reading and so on, but really the bulk of the program is going to be the audio lessons. So if your main goal is to write or read the language, then Pimsleur is probably not going to be a good match for you. All right, guys, so this is day 7. I just finished the 7th Pimsleur lesson for Arabic. And now I'm going to test my results, and I'm doing the Voice Coach Challenge on the Pimsleur app, which presents me sentences in English, and I have to say, you know, say it in Arabic and record myself, and they're going to give me a score for, you know, how well I spoke it, essentially. So this is the first sentence here. The first sentence, I can't get it to replay in English, but it's, where is Al-Hamra Street, please? All right, so let me start. Aina shari al-hamra min fadlik. Well, okay, that's pretty good for a start, actually. I'm gonna play the sentence in Arabic. Aina shari al-hamra min fadlik. All right, so the pronunciation isn't exactly the same, but I think I did a pretty good job.
You speak well.
Anti la tarifina إنجليزي.
أنت لا تعرفين إنجليزي. You speak very well.
أنت تتكلم جيدا جدا.
أنت تتكلم جيدا جدا.
All right, this one says 52. That's fair. Now, to be honest, when I played the recording, I think it's pretty close. I don't know. We'll see when I edit this video.
أنت تتكلم جيدا جدا.
Yeah, it sounds like what I said.
I'm not Kuwaiti.
أنا لست كويتي.
أنا لست كويتي. You don't understand English.
أنت لا تعرفين إنجليزي.
أنت لا تعرفين إنجليزي. You speak Arabic.
أنت تتكلم عربي. All right, this one is excellent, 100%. Yeah, I think this was pretty easy.
أنت تتكلم عربي. But I don't know Arabic.
لكن أنا لا أعرف عربي. All right, 100 for this one too. Excellent. I'll let you hear the original audio.
لكن أنا لا أعرف عربي.
So there it is. Obviously, I'm not going to be winning any awards, but I think I got great results for just 7 days, especially considering that I spent only 30 minutes a day studying for a total of 3 hours and a half over, 7 days. And I didn't really study, to be honest. I never had to sit down at a desk and actively study. I was just listening to the lessons and participating. So if I were to pick up a Pimsleur program and do the entire program, the entire thing, I would be able to have conversations by the end, I would say about a low B1 level, which is about a low intermediate level. So I would do stuff like the Anki Core Dex, for example, my vocabulary Dex, link to that in the description, to build up my vocabulary from there and then become fluent. So if you're interested in trying out Pimsleur for free and getting it for the best price possible, not, hundreds of dollars, just click the link in the description. And also, if you want to become fluent using scientific principles, you have to watch my free webinar. This webinar summarizes the 7 best language learning principles that I got from all my interviews with scientists on this channel. So click the link in the description to watch my free webinar, and I'll see you next time.